How you doing, you old pirate? So good to see you.
Hey guys, welcome back to today's episode of Star Wars Oush. You've seen the title of this video, so you know what it is. I want to start by explaining a couple of things for you. The ability to become a Force Ghost is strictly an ability for those who practice the light side of the Force. As explained to us in the Revenge of the Sith novelization, the ultimate goal of the Sith, yet they can never achieve it, comes through only the release of self, not the exaltation of self. It comes through compassion, not greed. Love is the answer to the darkness. The first Jedi to have learned this ability was Qui-Gon Jinn. He was instructed by the wills of the Force. These wills of the Force are basically the living embodiments of the Force and were a record of galactic knowledge. So only a Jedi who had completed this training could appear as a Force Ghost. The reason I say that they have to have completed their training is that only through this completed training can you achieve this skill. Qui-Gon Jinn would die before his training was complete, therefore making it impossible for him to appear as a Force Ghost unaided. There are glimpses of his existence after his death, first seen in Episode 2 after Anakin slaughtered the Tusken Raiders on Tatooine. Yoda was meditating and could hear Qui-Gon Jinn cry out in the Force after this event. If he were to have completed this training, he would have been able to completely appear and stop Anakin. We can see the pattern when Jedi disappear upon death. They have completed their training in being able to manifest themselves in the Force and successfully become a Force Ghost, such as Obi-Wan, Yoda, Luke, and Leia. We see that Jinn did not disappear and become a Force Ghost, as he was cremated at the end of Episode 1 due to his inability to complete his training. There are plenty of other examples of Jedi that died and did not disappear. For example, after the execution of Order 66, the Jedi bodies were piling up across the galaxy. The clones were ordered to bring all of the fallen Jedi to the outskirts of the Jedi Temple and pile their bodies directly on the stairs that led into the temple. This was to symbolize the end of the Age of the Jedi and to symbolize that the Age of the Empire had begun. Now let's talk about how Kylo Ren was able to disappear and become a Force Ghost. Let's take a brief look over his training history. Thanks to the book Bloodlines, we see that Kylo Ren is 29 years old and is relatively new to the ranks of the First Order in The Force Awakens, which means that Ben Solo was on the light side of the Force for about 27 or so years. During this time, he was raised by Leia, who we see in The Rise of Skywalker to have had one-on-one training from Grandmaster Luke, therefore must have at the very least influenced Kylo's, or should I say Ben's, Force abilities, and at the other end of the spectrum could have been formally teaching him how to control his abilities. Then we know that Ben was sent to train with Luke at his new Jedi Order. This training was similar to what Yoda, Mace Windu, and other Jedi from a bygone era would have received. We know that Ben eventually does betray the Jedi and burns down this new temple, after which he joins the dark side. In The Rise of Skywalker, we witness his redemption through his relationship with Rey, the intervention of the voice of his mother, and the memory of his father, meaning that he had joined the light side again after renouncing the dark side. Once Palpatine is defeated, Rey collapses and, as far as we know, either dies or is holding on by a thread. At this point, Ben has inched his way out of the chasm which Palpatine had thrown him into and transfers his essence to Rey, essentially giving his life up for hers and sacrificing himself to save her life. This is when Ben disappears and becomes one with the Force and presumably becomes a Force Ghost. Earlier in the movie, we see that Leia has died, but her body only disappears when Ben does. And we know that Leia became a Force Ghost as she reveals herself to Rey beside Luke on Tatooine in the closing scene of The Rise of Skywalker. I say this timing of both Leia and Ben's bodies disappearing is because Leia was waiting on her son and wanted to teach him a final lesson, how to manifest himself in the Force, just as Obi-Wan had done for Anakin in the Return of the Jedi, as Darth Vader had been defeated, as Emperor Palpatine had been defeated, as it was just Anakin and Luke Skywalker, as it was just father and son. Anakin lay there looking at Luke with his own eyes, fully prepared to embrace death. He was fading away and there was only darkness for him, a boundless shadowy realm like a universe without stars. But then, somewhere at the edge of his awareness, he saw a bright, shimmering light and heard, Anakin. Although he did not have a physical body anymore, he was able to answer, Obi-Wan? It is right here when Obi-Wan taught Anakin how to become a Force ghost. I say that this is also what happened with Leia and Ben Solo. As I mentioned before, Leia had received in-depth training and was a proficient Jedi, as we see her on-screen best look in blinded combat. Once Luke had mastered the ability to Force Ghost, this skill passed on to his sister. So what do you guys think of this? Also, what do you guys think that Ben, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and the others get up to as Force Ghosts? As always guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button below and consider showing this channel to a Star Wars friend and help the channel grow. Look after yourselves and may the Force be with you.
Do what must be done. Do not hesitate. Show no mercy.